For this project, we're going to use the Layers tool to make a multicolor, in this case a two-color vinyl decal. Now when you open up Rhino, go to Small Objects, Inches, maximize your top viewport, and then we want to pull up the Layers tab. Lots of times when we start Rhino by default it shows Properties, but if we just click on Layers, that will pop up. We can slide that over if we need to see more. We can change that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just a Braves logo. It says Banks Braves. So I'm going to start here with a big B, make it 6 inches tall, and we'll anchor that over here. And what I'm going to do is have this part be blue. So up here where my first layer says default and is checked, I'm going to, for starters, so I don't confuse myself, I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to name it blue so that I know what color it's going to be. And then I'm going to click where this black box is, and I'm going to scroll down until I find blue, and I'm going to select blue. What that will do is make that the actual color. Now I like relating the colors to the actual color of vinyl that we're going to cut just because it simplifies it a little bit. So there's my B. That's going to be the first thing that I'm going to cut on the vinyl cutter. Now I'm only going to use 2 layers, so I'm going to go ahead and delete some of the others just so they're not in the way, so they don't confuse me. You don't have to, but I like to do that. Now where this check mark is, we're going to check here where it says layer 1. We're going to rename this, and I'm going to do that beige color. That is the second color of the Banks logo. We're going to go ahead and use that. Now with this checked, I'm going to go ahead and add the word Braves. I think 1 inch is probably going to be good. We'll do that, and we'll put it down. Well, look at that. That made it red. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to go over here where that color is and scroll down until I find one that's close to what the actual color is. Tan's probably as close as I'm going to get. So I'll click on that. Now if I click out, this is tan. So that would be the color that this would cut. Now we want to make sure that we get it lined up just right on here. So I'm going to make a couple of minor changes to this. I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to bring it over and anchor it on here. And I want to make sure I get it aligned right. So I'm going to do align horizontal center, hit enter. Now it's aligned. Just eyeballing it, looks like it's aligned pretty close side to side, and now it's aligned top and bottom. So on the vinyl cutter, we have the blue color that's going to be cut blue. We have the beige color that's going to be cut. Now, so that we can align these when we put our decal together, we have to make some register marks. So I'm going to use the rectangle tool, and I'm going to come out just... So I'm going to use the rectangle tool, and I'm going to come out just a little ways off of the decal, and I'm going to put 4 register marks. So I'm going to start with that one, then I'm going to copy it. I normally do them a 1/2 inch by a 1/2 inch. We just want something that's easy to see, and that'll help us get these lined up. So there's my 4 register marks. I'll hit enter. Now right now those are on the beige layer, but I want that on both layers. These are going to get cut so that when we put our second decal on top of the first, we use these to get it lined up. So I need to highlight these. I'm going to click on one, hold shift, highlight all 4 of them. Then I'm going to come up to blue. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go copy objects to layer. They didn't change color, but if we look right there, that's what the vinyl cutter is going to cut in beige. And then I can put the check mark up here, get rid of the beige. That's what it's going to cut in blue. And the nice thing about this is it helps us visualize and see what each layer is going to look like. But also when we go to the vinyl cutter, we load our blue vinyl. We make sure that the blue one is checked and beige is off. And we go through and we cut that. When we're done with that one, we load the other color vinyl, check that color, make sure this one's off, and we can cut that. And this is going to cut beige, and we can use our register marks to get those set up. Ultimately, you can use as many colors as you want, but for this first one, we're going to use 2. These register marks, we want to make sure that we have on each layer, so that when we cut them, they both show up and we can use them to make sure that everything is aligned. And all that's done over here through our Layers tab.